Let's welcome back to the show Florida Congressman Greg Steube. Congressman, it's great to have you on. Your thoughts on a momentous day?
Yeah, what a day. What a start to a day. You wake up that the president and his wife has COVID, but he seems to be doing well. And I hope that he does as much virtually as he can. He was supposed to be in Florida tonight for a rally in Sanford, and unfortunately he wasn't able to make it. So I know there's a lot of disappointed people in the Orlando area that were looking forward to get up to the Sanford airport and welcome him in Florida, as he's got a lot of support here in Florida. But I hope he tries to do as much things virtually as he can, as his health allows him to do, because he's got a lot of support here in the state of Florida.
Let's talk about what's going on south of the border. We've got a COVID-19 crisis and an severe economic downturn just south of the border, both in Mexico and Central America. We've got now 3,000 migrants trying to make it to the southern border, crossing from Honduras through Guatemala and Honduras. So that's an issue too, that they're trying to get to the border. It started out as 900, now it's 3,000. Mexico is in a severe COVID outbreak and a downturn. So border arrests have been climbing for each of the past 4 months. So, you know, there's this story, too, what's going on south of the border with COVID-19 and border apprehensions going up. When you hear those numbers, are you concerned?
Yeah, I think what's interesting is you have Democratic governors and Democratic mayors. They're shutting down economies and shutting down small businesses and telling people that they have to wear masks and not operate their small businesses, yet they're perfectly fine with having an open border south of our border. They don't want a wall. They don't want any type of partition preventing people from coming illegally into our country. They welcome that. They welcome thousands of people. We've detained almost 50,000 people during this period of time that we've been able to send back because they're trying to get in the United States. And we have Democratic governors that are wanting to shut down our economies in these states, but they're perfectly fine with illegal immigrants, thousands of them. I saw the videos of caravans of them all together coming across the border and into our country. So obviously during a pandemic, we need to do everything we can as a country, and I applaud the president for building the wall and having 300-something miles of it built to prevent, especially during a pandemic, people coming across the border in droves that may obviously have health implications to this country.
You know, this is a humanitarian country. We want to help people come into the country legally. People should, and to apply for asylum at ports of entry. The president has been criticized for putting an aggressive cap on asylum seekers. Should he lift the cap for humanitarian reasons for asylum seekers?
Look, anybody that wants to file for asylum can do that in their embassies in the countries. So if they're in Honduras, they can go to the U.S. Embassy in Honduras. They don't have to come in these caravans across the country and go through the legal parameters that we set forth as a country, especially during this time in a COVID pandemic, to decide whether they apply and are requisite for asylum. They can do that in their home country. They don't have to come in droves of caravans to our borders that overwhelm our Border Patrol and ICE.
You know, we've also been covering that story. We've also been covering Operation Legend. The Justice Department is out with new numbers. Again, this is the news is coming in thick and fast. There's now 4,000 people arrested in Operation Legend, taking place in cities across the country. They've recovered more than 1,000 illegal firearms, and massive amounts of narcotic seized, heroin and fentanyl and cocaine. So as we continue to monitor what's going on with Walter Reed, we've got a number of things happening at the border, and now Justice Department announcing these new numbers about Operation Legend, sir.
Yeah, thank God we have a president that's all about law and order and is all about the DOJ and ICE and these other federal agencies and federal law enforcement actually upholding the law and prosecuting these individuals that are breaking laws and going against gangs that are coming into our country. So I thank the president for taking those policies. I support those policies. Everybody here in Florida is praying for him and his wife in hopes that they get well and rest well. And hopefully soon he'll be back on the campaign trail virtually if he has to be, but we look forward to seeing him soon in Florida.
You know, getting back to what the administration, the White House, the Justice Department is dealing with violence in U.S. cities, and just coupling that with what's going on with the border, we've heard time and again Mexico's leaders saying, we need safe, orderly, and legal migration. We're struggling with COVID-19 outbreaks in our own country. They don't want to have to deal with caravans transversing across their borders. They've typically offered people doing this the opportunity to seek asylum in Mexico, but many ignore that, set that aside. They're full-on coming here to the United States, and we have an economy. We understand why they want to come here. But the issue is even minority communities and Hispanic and Latino communities say it's not fair. Do it legally like we did. Wait in line.
Yeah, we have legal opportunities for them to claim asylum in their home countries. And President Trump is all about securing our border and ensuring that we don't have lawlessness and criminals coming across the border. So if we have genuine asylum cases, they can apply in their embassies in their home countries, and they'll be evaluated by a judge.
All right, Congressman, it's so great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us and helping us out in this
Great to see you. Thanks for having me.
momentous day and capping a tumultuous week in Washington.